me tonight. They got to see me.
I think if you got a guy like that, you build like that, 6'4", guy, you got to trust.
Everybody watching tonight. So I tell you what, if you get fired into the next, you're in the wrong business. We control this. We run this. And anybody coming out of the house,
they got Jordan Davis last season. They bring Fletcher Cox back in Philly. So I'm sitting there like, we need to put something on this offensive line to combat that. What is going on? Welcome back, everybody. The Dallas Cowboys sit at 8-3, hosting the 6-5 Seattle Seahawks. Both of these teams played on Thursday. We got a nice sneak peek at Seattle in that late window. Talk to me a bit about how you're feeling in this home game.
Look, man, the fact that you started off with a home game, right? So we got these boys at home. That's the beautiful part about it. I think we're going on we're coming off of a 13-game winning streak, hitting into this one. So to how I'm feeling, I expect it to be 14. I think right now the line is sitting at 7. And I'm kind of liking it. Honestly, 7 points is a lot, but I think as far as this year with the Cowboys and us being favorites, we're 7-1, with our only loss being to obviously the Arizona Cardinals. Every other game we've covered, and then on the flip side, if you think about it, Detroit, like every time they've been underdog, they've lost. Outside of that one overtime win against the Detroit Lions. So I think it will be a good game. There's a lot of playoff implications going into it. Obviously, they need to win this one. They got some tough games coming up next. I think they got San Fran, the Eagles, and I'm not sure who the last team is. But then, our tough stretch kind of happens after this. But I think as far as the playoff implications and where we are, they need this one just as much as we need it. So it's going to be a tough one. And it's kind of weird because, like, out of all the weeks, you kind of have both sides where San Fran, they kind of rooting for us to take this one.
Right.
And then we kind of rooting for San Fran to take care of business against Philly as well. So it should be a good game nevertheless. I'm feeling good. And I think we're the better team, honestly.
I agree. And excuse me. This is not the same Seattle team as last year. Geno has not looked the same. And I'm not saying that's a knock on Geno, but eventually that does catch up with you. There's more tape on him once again. Lockett and Metcalf have been playing pretty banged up all season. Kenneth Walker's out. So it's like this Seattle team is just not the monster we thought they were going to be headed into this season.
Yeah, and you said it the best. Like, I think the defense has kind of been the same for the most part. I mean, the corners haven't been as strong, but I mean, the defense has been a defense for Seattle. I think last year a lot of their magic happened where it was a Geno Smith kind of pushing the needle a little bit. And the offense just played above expectations. And this year, I think it regressed a little bit. So I think now that the offense has regressed, defense kind of stayed the same. I think you kind of see what's going on over there. And there's a lot of areas to attack. And you talked about that run game. I think they kind of, like, that was their identity last year.
Right.
What is their identity right now? With Kenneth Walker being out and they leaning on Zach Charbonnet, I think the offensive line is still strong. Let's get that straight for the most part. But I think, Geno he's regressed. He'll give you some turnovers. You know what I mean? And we got a guy back there to get turnovers, and this whole defense as a whole, what we do for a guy that give you the ball, man. So I want to dive straight into that, man. And let's talk some of these numbers.
Yeah, so just thinking on the defensive side of the ball for San Francisco, man. 22nd in points per game, 22nd in passing yards per game. They are 27th in the league on third down. That's pretty terrible. But on to the time of possession, bro. Dead last. That defense is spending the most time on the field in the National Football League, which is actually meaning Geno and them are spending no time on the field, right?
Right.
So they're not able to sustain drives offensively. They are 29th in the league on third down, compared to us sitting at second on defense and second on offense.
Yeah.
So we're a great third down team going against a bad third down team. And like you said, probably be able to force them into some third and long situations if they're not going to be able to come out and run the ball, which Charbonnet, he's all right, but he ain't going to be all right on Thursday.
Yeah. and I think that's key, right? Like you said, just get after Geno Smith. I think you've seen what San Fran was able to do to him. And I think you just kind of go into this game with the same blueprint, like stop the run, obviously. That's what they want to do. And you stop the run, you take away the play action, the threat of them getting over the top, and you just kind of just make them lean on Geno. And, as long as they lean on Geno, like you talked about, those third down conversions, like getting them off the field. And if they're not getting off the field, then they got to drive the distance against this defense, man. And I think it goes into just starting early. Like, for me, like, let's just start early, put touchdowns on the boards. I don't want to see no field goals. And really just what we've been doing, like, this last stretch of the season, ever since San Fran, oh, man, we've been cooking. And I expect us to continue to do so. I mean, CD, I can expect him to have a big game. You know what I mean? These last two have been a little quiet, but I expect to kind of get him back involved. Like, and really, outside of that, I obviously want to keep Brandon Cooks going, but I'm more interested in seeing if we can kind of keep this run game going. This last 2 game stretch has been nice. Nice little duo of Tony Pollard with just enough of Dotto, and I kind of want to see that just kind of continue that. You know what I mean? Let's continue to get East and West, and I think as long as we do that, we'll control this game. I'm gonna be honest, we will.
I think you mentioned TP. I think it was Defy posted the first 8 games of the season. TP had 8 broken tackles, and I think 15 the last 3 games. So TP is finally rolling. They finally got him running, and that's what we've been waiting for. I don't know what the holdup was, right? But yeah, we should be able to run all over them. Defensively, they are, I got the numbers, 21st in the league against the run. So
Yeah,
giving up 17 on
opportunities.
the ground. Yeah, we should be able to get something done there. CD, yes, he's been quiet, but he's got a tub in both those quiet games as well. So he is getting the production in that aspect. And like you mentioned, Cooks, man, like Cooks is what opens up everything.
Yeah.
And it kind of aligns perfectly with TP getting going. You got that vertical threat going, and now all of a sudden TP's got running lanes, man.
And I don't know why it took this long, to be honest.
It's crazy.
Like I'm just glad. It seems like with Mike McCarthy, it's like every time it's been a problem, I give him this. At first it was like CD, like what's going on with CD, and it's like he started feeding him. I'm like, duh, like you know what I mean? I think he was hearing what's going on. He started feeding this guy, got him involved. It was like, hey, we got a number one tight end, Jake Ferguson. Why aren't we using him? He started using Jake Ferguson a little bit more. We was like, dang, like what's going on with Brandon Cooks? Got Brandon Cooks involved. Hey, I want to see a little bit less of Michael Gallup and more Tolbert, who has been out snapping him like the last 2 games. We're like, cool, that works. Now he was like, we're gonna get Tony Pollard going, and like he's done that. So it's like every step of the way, he's been kind of just seeing our problems and just going through it game by game, and he been solving them. And I say that for the most part, we got this home game stretch, and boy, have we been blowing teams out at home. And another prime example of what we was able to do to the Commanders, obviously on Thanksgiving, something I'm thankful for. I was thankful for for the most part. And you know what I mean? I think this one right here is a big game. And you're gonna be dealing with a desperate team. Like you're gonna get it all. You know what I mean? I'm not saying the whole kitchen sink, but this team is fighting for their playoff lives. Like we talk about playoff implications, we talk about that wild card spot, right? That's how important it is for them. But to know that they're 6-5, right, and they could easily slip into that bubble. You got I think the Saints at 5-6. I think
I got you right here.
I think Green Bay, if I'm not mistaken, is sitting at 5-6. Um, Not sure. Yep. So LA, I mean, I think LA is 5-6, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah.
any loss right here, you got 3 teams with a chance to kind of slip into this last seed. We'll obviously see what happens with the Vikings. I expect them to come out and get a dub and kind of stay where they are. But for both teams, it's going to be very important. If you think about like our path, this is like the last, I would say, direct game as far as our playoff implications. You know what I mean? When we dealing with the AFC side, I mean, yes, it's big as far as wins and losses go, but it really doesn't affect us too much as far as like the head-to-head matchups within NFC. So this is gonna be big for sure.
I think it's crazy too. One thing, just off topic a bit, they should ban the ability for Atlanta to make the playoffs if they don't finish above 500.
Oh no, I need that. I need that. Like we in a prime spot. We in a prime spot to just come in here and fight our demons. And it's weird, right? You talked about Atlanta, like cool, like, but this stretch is so important. And then we always hear all these like different narratives, right? And then like this week we get a 6-5 team, so winning team, right? And we get a chance to kind of just take that narrative out of the way. But at the same time, if we beat them, then they 6-6, they no longer a winning team. Like I can already hit the other side of that, right? So
Hey, Washington had a good defense a couple weeks ago.
and it did. It starts now, you know what I mean, hitting it to that final stretch. Like this game is kind of like that first stepping stone, just kind of going into this gauntlet. Like we've seen what Philly has been able to do on the other side of that. Like they went through the tough stretch. They started off with key wins against the Chiefs and the Bills, and that's kind of what we want to replicate. And that goes into I want to say controlling our own destiny. Like I'm kind of tired of just, you know what I mean, hoping for Philly to lose just for us to like scratch that. Right. You know what I mean? They holding on. I give them all the credit, but we got to continue to win. I think as long as we win and then we play Philly with a chance of playing Philly when it's time, like long as we one game behind them and we beat them, then we tied up. And that's all that matters. So I just think we got to continue to win and just stop focusing on what's going on over there. Because as long as we win and we got this wild card spot locked up, which is prime, and then we still have a chance to take a division. Obviously, if we keep winning, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, we got to take it week to week. Just to glance back over a couple of these numbers, right? Points per game, first in the league. That's us.
We first now.
First, 31.5.
Okay, Mike McCarthy.
Mike
Yeah.
dialing him up, bro.
Yeah.
He got the monkey button, everything.
Yeah. So was it Dak or was it Kellen?
Oh, it's Kellen.
It's Dak. Oh.
Kellen's the problem.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, we were still like up there, like as far as yards and points and everything like that. So I'm saying, like, who was the culprit in that? Like, I mean, I think Dak was just I mean, we had number one offenses when Jason Garrett was there. So I just go to show you, like, Dak been cooking. He been dialing this thing up.
I think the difference is the time of possession this year.
That's fair. For sure.
McCarthy, while we're splatting up the scoreboard, he's controlling the clock in the process. He's not just like bombs away, defense out there all the time. But on the defensive side of the ball, right, it's been awfully quiet with Micah Parsons the last couple of weeks. But not everything he does shows up on the stat sheet, right? Is there something going on here? Am I overthinking it? I'm asking because I got a ticket for Micah to lead the league in sacks.
I mean, he's there. I mean, what it was two sacks prior, I think the Carolina game. And then I think it was 1.5 sacks against Washington. So I mean, 2 games in a row. He's getting those sacks, but he's creating havoc. Like, if you look at Dan Quinn is moving him around. Like, he's not just on the edge no more. He's in the middle, and I think that is causing a lot of teams to kind of just panic for real, man. And it's opening things up. Like, we've seen Sam Williams come into play. We've seen Osa continue to ball out. Freaking Hankins is balling out. D. Laws continue to be an animal on the line. Like, everybody is really playing well at the most important time right now. And I think that all starts with Micah.
Okay. That's what, and the crazy thing too about this defense, and you kind of alluded to it, is there's no trophy for any one player. Like, they're in a battle together, and the battle is the football. So whoever gets there first gets the credit, but it's a battle for everybody to get there in the first place. Matchup wise, right? So you got DK Metcalf on one side, Lockett on another, Jackson Smith and Jigba somewhere else, right? Do you feel threatened at all by this receiving trio going up against our secondary / Jordan Lewis?
Well, you took the words out of my mouth before I could even say it, because I was going to say, look, if I'm looking at it like from a matchup standpoint, like Stephon Gilmore against Metcalf, I think that's the perfect kind of matchup for him. Like, Gilmore, if he's going to struggle, it's going to be like smaller, quicker guys going across the middle, having a trail, things like that. But a bigger receiver, with the technique he plays with, I'm not worried about Stephon. I think he's good over there. Bland, like, try him if you want. Like, I don't even mind him getting beat a couple times. If you're going to continue to target a guy like that, like, have at it. I think he'll be fine. I think it all points to J. Lou in the slot. And I don't just think it'll be a heavy dose of JSN. I also think you got to worry about Lockett when they get in there.
Mm-hmm.
But to J. Lou's credit, he has gave up some big catches every once in a while. But I think it has been an overreaction the last couple of weeks. I think he's kind of stepped it up and he's improved. So with that being said, I'm still not worried as total. Like, will Geno be able to just pick on a J. Lou all game if that's what he want to do? I don't think so. I think the more opportunities Geno had to pass the ball, the more opportunities we got to get after him. And I think if we do that, then I think Geno can give you a couple for sure.
I think the biggest single weakness on the team, if I had to pinpoint it, would be J. Lou, but specifically in tight games, right?
Yeah.
If we're a big J. Lou, we're way less worried about when he's giving up big plays. But these tight games, like the San Francisco game, the Philly game, that's when we need J. Lou to shine. But that's when it comes out like he looks terrible, right?
Yeah.
So in a game like this, you said the line is sitting at 7. I'm gonna take Dallas and lay the 7 this week.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but
I mean, they're at home, bro. I mean, it hasn't been 1 touchdown, 2. I mean, we've been beating teams by 3 or 4 touchdowns, and really the way we doing it has been consistent, man. So I feel comfortable with the 7. I mean, I'm not saying we're just gonna come over here and run all over them from like the start, but I would like to see us do so. I want to come out here and put touchdowns on the board early, and I think if we do that, I think it could get out of hand. I really do.
Excuse me, and I hope so too. And on the other side, right, they got Tariq Woolen and what's his name, Witherspoon.
Who's been a solid corner early in his career? I would say that.
Is there a matchup from the offensive side of the ball that you're geeked to see this Thursday night?
I think matchup wise, I mean, nah. I mean, I ain't gonna say no. I mean, I do want to see CD continue to eat. I mean, I guess we could kind of see what that Brandon Cooks versus Witherspoon matchup look like. But I think with Woolen, honestly, he hasn't played as well this year.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? He's kind of regressed. I think he got benched. I don't know if it was last game, but maybe it was the game before that. You know what I mean? And not only that, I mean, you think about the top cornerbacks coming out of that draft. What was it, Stingley? Woolen, you know what I mean, outside of maybe Sauce Gardner, like who's better than the guy sitting with the star on his helmet right now, the Deron Bland. So
Right.
I think that's cool to get a look at. If we want to talk about matchups, like this is y'all what both almost like 6th round picks though, which is pretty cool. I
Yeah.
don't know what Woolen was, but that's good. And I think, you know what I mean, in total, I think Seattle offensive line, I think they have one of the better offensive lines in the league. But so do we. I
Right.
think the difference is we got one of the better defensive lines in the league. So we talking matchups. I want to see those boys eat on that defensive line.
I think the big difference too is our line is built to play from in front. So is theirs. And if they're unable to play from in front, that O line is going to be terrible, right?
Yeah.
Because it's hard for an O line to travel and trail in a game. I just keep thinking back to that play. You probably saw it earlier in the year when Aaron Donald came at Geno and he was like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah, yeah.
I
You
just
can get a
keep
dose of that. Yeah.
I just keep picturing that. I need that soundbite with Micah this week.
Yeah. And I would say this just to kind of switch back, right? As far as our offensive line, like we are now playing some of the best ball I've seen. Like you asked me that question week prior where you was like on that left side, like if it's Tyron and Tyler, what do you rank them? I was like, they up there. I'm feeling like, yeah, I'm feeling like one, you know what I mean?
Oh
Like
no,
not
please.
not two, man. And dang, Tyron Smith is looking so good over there.
He yeah. He need
Bro,
all the rest he can get, bro.
hey, look, give him some ice, whatever he need, man. Just keep him chilling, right? And then like Tyler, bro, what are we talking about? So I think,
Out
I
of
mean,
position, Tyler, too.
right. So I didn't even know going into it like we would get this, but I think now that we finally got these five together, and the more they play together, obviously the continuity is just going to keep getting better and better. I mean, the pass blocking has always been great, but now I think the run game, when you asked about Tony Pollard and like, is it just him? Is he breaking tackles now? And I think I think those guys is finally on the outsides. Now that they're going east and west, I mean, we already know Terrence Steele, while he might not have been the best pass blocker, he gets down in that run game. You know what I mean? He put some good things on film, and then Tyne on the other side, man, he's rejuvenated and he's moving guys out the way alongside Tyler, man. I think as long as you running behind those guys, like scratch the middle. We don't need to
Right.
run behind Tyler Badass, but hey, even if we do, but you know what I mean, just keep getting the east and west, and those guys are moving things right now.
It's
I love it.
crazy too, because we might just have the best guard combo in football along with it.
Hey, that's fair. That's
And then
fair.
Biotis is just kind of there. Like, which no harm to him, bro. But when you're playing in between two elite guards, you're gonna look elite.
Yeah.
So it's like Zach Martin no longer is having to compensate for the right side and the left side of him. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
able to go out there and do his assignment, which is beautiful.
Which Zach, I don't know if he's not playing like an all pro level. Maybe he's a little bit banged up. I'm not sure. But I mean, he's still Zach. You
Right.
know what I mean? You can lean on a guy like that down in and down out. So I mean, like if it's anything, and I'm saying like let's just continue to let Dak cook. I mean, this is a bottom five defense as far as passing go. So I
Hmm.
mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't just come out here and just tell Dak, you know what I mean, just go ahead and dial him up. And I think, you know what I mean, you'll get a heavy dose of the blitz. But I mean, if you want to blitz a quarterback like Dak, I think this kind of serves him well for his playing style because generally over his career against the blitz, Dak is one of those dudes.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. So we missed out on J-Ron Curse last week. He came out and said 200% he's playing this Thursday, right?
Yep.
Glad to have that back. Key part of the defense. Now we're at what? This is going to be week 13. We've lost LVE, we've lost Diggs, but the bodies that have stepped up in place of them, man, have played well. And it's crazy because the guys that we paid are the ones that got hurt, right?
Yeah, for
Which
sure.
is so stupid. But I feel like this is going to go full circle. McCarthy or somebody must be listening in because we were asking where Shoemaker is, and now all of a sudden Shoemaker's showing up.
Hey, facts.
So
He gotta be. He gotta be. And he's a self-aware coach, man. Like I
mhm,
give him that. Like he's like if you think about like all the stuff he said, I think it was like last year when he was like nobody understood what he said was like I gotta support my defense. Like I'm not trying to lead the league in passing no more.
right.
You know what I mean? But then we still up there in points per game. No, we're not. I guess we dialing all over the field right now, but it's all like the things that you said as far as like just controlling the clock and things like that. Oh man, it's beautiful. And then we're not really like we're stretching defenses out, but I don't see the risk that Dak was taking last year. Like, when it points to like certain things, like even now, not to just go in a direction when you think about Kellen Moore and stuff like that. Like, I think it's a reason why Quentin Johnson has not been able to, take that leap, man. And
Catch.
I think it's just so confusing for like some of these receivers over there. And then even in those situations, like you see Justin Herbert throwing into like double coverage and things like that. I'm like, I didn't really see too much of that. I mean, he might give you some, but he wasn't as risky. And I think that goes into the scheme, but also like it was pointing straight at that guy. And I think Mike McCarthy, just him being able to say, all right, this East and West stuff, cool. I
Mhm.
get it. We want to be safe. We want to do different things, but at the same time, he knew he wasn't getting vertical. And
Right.
then he changed that on the fly. And I think that San Fran game, while it might have been a loss, it might have been one of the most important games of our season. Because who knows if we just kept that close, if he kept things the same and we kind of continue to do the same things, maybe that beatdown was like like one of the
Yeah.
things that kind of shifted things for us and made us actually ask like the identity and where we're going. Are we really going where we want to go, or should we just kind of cut this thing loose? And I think Dak has shown like even though you cut me loose, I can still take care of the football, but let me take my chances and I'm gonna do good things. And I'm glad he been able to utilize his legs while he's doing so.
Bro, mobile Dak is my favorite Dak,
Yeah.
right? And he may look slow as molasses out there compared to what he used, bro.
Yeah.
Dak looks slow out
Yeah.
there, bro. But he's out there dropping his shoulder, doing his thing. But
Yeah.
I think the most beautiful thing is the way that Mike McCarthy has been able to use the short pass game as an extension of the run game, right?
Sure.
Which has helped in the swap of time of possession. You look over, like you mentioned in the Chargers game, and Kellen's just trying to dump the ball downfield. Like, it don't make sense. Like,
It's no
Kellen's
method. It's no method to the madness.
it's who I think it's Mike Lombardi says Kellen Moore's always playing Madden in the basement. Like, he just four verticals, four verticals, four verticals all the
Yeah.
way through.
Nah. I mean, it's not sustainable.
Mm-mm.
And it's crazy because against bad teams, like,
Oh,
yeah,
it looks good.
it looks good. But when you face a top defense that says, I know what you do well, I'm gonna take that away. What counters do you have? It's like a guy like that doesn't adjust. And in this league, you got to be able to counter, man.
Right.
So I think it's big. I think it's big for sure. As far as you saying Curtis is 200%, I think he's willing to ready to go. He's limited, but let's roll with Curtis. I think he looks good. He got the ball here now. I don't know if you've seen that. He's
200%. I didn't see that.
Hey, he said, hey, he said new beginnings, right? Dotto was limited, but I think he'll play. Fowler was a DNP, I think, but he had an illness, so I think he'll play as well. Pay Hendershot is full now, so he's gearing up. Zach Martin, some rest. Mazi Smith, I'm not sure what happened there. He's full. Got your Tyron Smith normal rest days going on, and then
He's napping right now, bro.
and then Ty Sweet, I mean, who's a player that probably won't play unless a blowout or something happened anyway as a DNP. So, I mean, if you're looking at it like as far as guys they could play, I think we, kind of the healthiest that we've been in a long time outside of losing key guys that we've lost.
Right.
Seattle, I haven't really took a look at it. I don't want to go too heavy on their side right now early in the week. But I think if you're looking at it from our standpoint, I think we're good to go. And everybody, I mean, we look healthy.
And that's terrific news. Looking at the landscape of things right now, right? Actually, rewind. You want to talk Shaq Leonard?
Hey, let's do it. Let's do it.
How you feeling? So he's scheduled to come visit tomorrow, which is the 28th, right? How you think the visit goes? What are you hoping comes from the visit? What are your thoughts just behind that move in general?
Well, let's not do the whole OBJ thing.
Right, right.
Like, let's not be. I'm not saying don't court them like that. Obviously, like with Philly coming in the picture, maybe they trying to make us outbid them, whatever. I know we talked about this like a little previously, right? But I think you gotta like press forward and just be aggressive in this, man. You know what I mean? We talked about how well the defense is playing, and I think if you put a guy like Shaquille Leonard behind that, like heading into the playoffs, like we're gonna take this thing up an extra notch. So like, hey, if Gilmore is boy, get him in there. Like let him sit with Micah, let him talk with all the guys, but really send him in the room with Dan Quinn for about 30 minutes. And I assure you, you know what I mean, after that guy get him fired up. And I think that may be the difference. But I don't even want him to go see Philly. Let's make this visit as good as it gotta go. Let's talk money. I don't think it'll cost a lot to get in there. I think Andy is on the hook for most of his salary. So like,
Yep.
what number do you want? And let's stay in Dallas, man. Let's lead Dallas with a deal Tuesday. I'm with it.
Yeah, it's no need to go shopping around, man. Christmas around the corner. You're already
Facts.
here. Like, bring the family. We got you,
Yeah,
bro.
no sales tax.
Hey, no,
No.
no state income tax.
Yeah, yeah,
That's for sure. McCarthy, they do them sleepovers. Y'all can have one of those, and then sign me up for Shaq Leonard. Like you said, give Dan Quinn a piece like Shaq Leonard, man, a former All Pro. Lights out, right?
yeah.
If I'm gonna pull back up the playoff picture for you, because I do have a question for you, because I think it's tricky right now. The landscape of the NFC, right? So when you look at this, obviously Philly's sitting at 10-1, and we don't have the AFC picture here either. But I think Philly has won a lot of games in a very weird fashion that could
Yeah,
easily go the other way, right?
yeah, for sure.
You can call it luck. You can call it. I'm not being a hater. I'm just speaking facts. Who to you is the best team in the NFC today, or top three? I would say.
In NFL?
Yeah, like
Okay.
if you had to predict the championship games right now, who you taking?
Okay, so while Philly has been playing with fire, it's been a lot of like you said, luck, whatever people call it referees. I think you do I think you do gotta credit them as far as the fact that like they've shown ways like to come back and win. Like for a team to be down, I think it's what 5 games trailing at halftime and come back and be able to win those games. It just goes to show you as a team to know how to win. And right now, I just got to say that they number one right now. You know what I mean? I would say they number one, right? Um, Baltimore Ravens. I think you got to put them up there.
For sure.
Two between them and San Fran, it's kind of like my two-way 2B situation for now. I will go Baltimore, San Fran at 3. I'll take Dallas. I'm gonna be honest. I probably take KC at 4 and then Dallas at 5. That around on my top 5.
I think
I don't think Detroit is. I think they're good. I don't know if they're amongst those teams yet.
I still think Detroit's a year ahead of schedule. I
Yeah,
think they're one draft class away still. But for me right now, looking at things, I think that Jets loss for the Eagles was very important for them. But I don't know who the best team in football is right now, right? You watched the Ravens game last night against the Chargers. Game that could have really went either way, but Staley stinks, so he gave up that dub. The Philly game, they've been this close to losing a lot of games, as mentioned, but they came out on top, so give them that. But I don't think there's a clear-cut favorite in the NFL today right now. You see the Chiefs, they're kind of a mess.
yeah. And
The
offense, surprisingly, has not been what it was. So that's a
right.
surprise. Playoff time, though, I gotta give them the benefit of the doubt. I think that showed when it's time.
But yeah, that's what just looking at and then you pull up the remaining schedule of ours, right? So looking all the way through, man, we got 6 games to go. At best, we finished 14-3, right? I think we probably finished 13-4. I don't see us winning out. I don't know where that loss would come from. I think we're a better team than Seattle, Buffalo, Miami, Detroit, obviously Washington. The Philly game, I think, bro. Tell me how did Jalen Carter, bro, run? No, not Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis. I know.
How did he run down Josh Allen,
I
right?
don't know. They said he went 16 miles per hour. He's so
What?
big that it still looked like it was 5 miles per hour to me. Like I ain't gonna lie.
What?
But yeah, they got some athletes along that defensive line, and it starts in the interior for sure. So yeah, they got some pieces. And really, I think if we trying to figure like it's a lot, like you said some good things, like Chiefs are MVS catch away from having a whole different conversation.
Right.
Right, Buffalo, like same thing. That Josh Allen and Gabe Davis connection, like if he makes that one play and they make that connection, then we're not talking referees, we're not talking about Josh Allen overtime record and all these different things. It's like they've been close, but they found a way, but it hasn't really been convincing.
Mm-mm.
So I think it points all towards next week. Well, I guess we could say this week now. You get a chance to see San Fran and Philly. Some people may say that's your top 2 NFC teams. Some people say that might be the best in the NFL. So we get to see those two show up and see how that game fares, with also a chance to see how Dallas responds to whatever happens this week and come out and get to see Philly again next week. So we kind of get to see all those three in some type of form or fashion within the next 2 weeks. And I think we'll get a better answer. But I do think I'm not sure how big of a gap it is. That's what I'm waiting to see. I don't
Right.
feel like Philly is above us like that. And while San Fran may look like they have our number, we didn't show up, and I feel like generally we played them well. I will say that. So I don't think they're leaps above us. I feel like we there. I don't really know what I want to say about Detroit. You know what I mean? Like they lost to the Bears. Well, no, they beat the Bears.
Barely.
And then who was it they lost to? If I'm not mistaken, this week.
Damn, who
Oh,
beat Detroit? Green Bay.
Green Bay. Yeah. Okay. Right. Thanksgiving. Right. So it goes to show you, like, I don't know. I really don't know. Like, it's really a toss up. But I think the Ravens. You know what I mean? If I'm talking, like they playing the right way. They playing some winning playoff type football.
That defense is crazy.
I can't wait to see them fare off against the Chiefs. I think if we're looking at it like on the AFC side, like as long as Chiefs can get that 2 seed or Ravens, however that works out, and they secure that 1-2 seed, I like to see the AFC Championship side, and that'll be a battle.
I think too, like Miami is fun, but if they don't secure home field advantage, they're not going to advance playing
No.
outdoors. Outside of that, the AFC East blows. AFC South, who cares, right? Jacksonville, Houston, like
Yeah.
nothing really on that side. But the NFC, I think, is where all the noise is, man. And we got 6 games to go. We're trying to make as much noise as possible. We just got to take it week by week. This week it's Seattle. That's all I got from my side. You got any final words?
Final words. I mean, like, hey, we got the Shaquille Leonard visit, so let's secure the bag there, or let him secure the bag. I'm gonna say,
Right.
Whatever you got to do to get him in the door, let's go ahead and make that happen. Other news going out. I mean, Dak's a daddy. It isn't the first time.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? He got some sons in the NFC East, so that, what I mean? But good news for him, obviously, all jokes aside, congrats. That's pretty cool. And let's keep this win streak alive, man. And I think, like I said, I stated before, it all starts right now. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and be the winning team, and I want to do it in a convincing fashion. I'll say that.
For sure, man. If you like what you hear, make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe. Dallas laying the 7 points Thursday night. And I'm sure we'll be back if we get some good news on the Shaq Leonard visit tomorrow.
Hey, for sure. Quest for 6. Let's do it.